Build simplicity into your work. I genuinely believe that you were given that role to solve the problem. Okay? You were not given that role. You did not come on board that job to create problems for others. You are there to solve a problem. So I need you to build simplicity into your work. I want you to start having that mindset of simplifying complex things. Okay? I want you to start having that idea of complex things can be further disaggregated into simple things that can be actioned. All right? Now, one less problem is better. Every single time, ask your bosses. They don't want one more problem. I mean, they are overwhelmed. They don't want one more problem. If you are a boss as well, you can relate. You don't want one more problem. Okay? So the people you work with, they don't want one more problem. Okay? So if there is no problem, please don't create one in the bid to fill up your time with activities. Career starters, do not create problems to fill up your time with activities. If there is no problem, there is no problem. It is okay if there is no problem. Okay? Activities do not equate impact. So don't feel like, oh, I need to fill up my time. I don't have anything I'm doing now. If you don't have anything you're doing now, go and read. Read about your work, read about making impact, read about managing people, read about leadership, read about anything. But don't create a problem if there is none. Okay? The simpler, the better. I just need you to know that it can be simple. Okay? And it is okay if it is simple. Complication is ineffective, no matter how you look at it. Usually, if you're in the consulting world, complex things is flex, right? Especially if you can deal with complex things. But that does not mean that everything needs to be complicated. Okay? So it doesn't have to be complicated to be effective. If it is simple, don't complicate it. If it is complicated, simplify it. It's as simple as that. Go to work with that and you're going to win every day. Okay? Complexity is the breeding ground for stress. You wonder why you're being stressed out right now at work? It's because you are complicating simple things. It's because you are having to deal with complex things over and over and over again. And you want to manage that. Whenever anybody brings anything to you and it looks complex, the first thing you want to do is ask many questions to further break it down so that you can know the root cause and you can know how to action the different parts of that problem. Yes, that's how you win every day on your work, okay? Don't be a champion at escalating problems, creating problems, escalating it because you're forming activities, okay? Be the one who comes up with solution. Be the one who facilitates solution. Be the one who comes up with a solution, okay? Your colleagues' lives, their lives are difficult as it is. Don't confront them with extra problems and make it so difficult for them to do their daily jobs. Okay? I want you to simplify your ideas. Okay? If you have an idea and you cannot work it out, take the time you need. See if you can write it down in simple English. You don't join meetings and be saying, I can't think through this idea. I can't think through that idea. If you had the idea before the meeting and you can't seem to put it together, write it down. See if you can write it down in simple English. Just try. Or see if you can write it down in steps. You will see the gaps. Then when you are now talking about the ideas, you can say the ones you know and you can identify the gaps yourself. Don't wait for people to be identifying the gap for you. Simplify your ideas, okay? Another tip that works for me is picturing my idea in an already resolved state, okay? And then I work it backwards. So if I have an idea, instead of saying, oh, how do I explain this idea? I would tell a story of a world where that idea has already been implemented. Then I key everybody into it through storytelling. Okay? So think about that situation. Like if you are trying to say, oh, I have an idea that before Christmas, I want us to have done ABCDE on our project. What I will do is to tell a story of how our lives can be easier after Christmas if we get things done the way I am proposing before Christmas. So I just need to tell that story, okay? That's an example. So think results, process, an ideation. So you think backwards. This is the result. This is the process that I think we need to go through. And this is the idea. Then you'll be able to iterate highlight your ideas properly. Okay. If you do not understand and cannot simplify the idea you are pitching, it will fall through. Almost always, except the people you're dealing with are very patient. If you are in a very competitive environment, you are in the meeting, you're trying to pull your ideas together, people will run over you. People will just move on. Okay, so if you don't want your ideas, your brilliant ideas to fall through the cracks, make sure that you understand it, you simplify it, and probably you can bring it to life through stories. Okay, try to use simple words. Okay, don't try to sound any smarter than you are. I don't know what this game is about people trying to sound smart. Just say simple words, simple English. One of the biggest feedback that I get when it comes to writing every day on LinkedIn is how I am able to communicate ideas in simple English. Because why would I want to complicate it? Because I want to be able to understand what I'm writing. So why would I want to complicate it? So use simple words. Stop overthinking things. Something has been communicated to you in simple English. You are trying to complicate it. Why would you want to do that? Okay. When you have conversations, it is okay to use simple English to convey your message. Obviously, if you are in a very technically driven work environment, you can think about using some technical terms that people understand. But that's not needed, okay? So always find simpler ways to communicate the results of your work. What I've seen, honestly, is customers, clients, and even top leaders in your organization, they just want simple conversations. It can be complex, but they want simple. They want the overarching helicopter view of things. Don't complicate things. You're not sounding smart by doing that. I want you to manifest ease. Okay, get into that habit of saying, it is easy. I can figure this out. I am getting a hang of this. There is nothing difficult here. Say it often enough. In fact, the way I'm saying it, I'm feeling more relaxed. It is easy. This is not challenging. I can break this down. Nothing too difficult here. You will believe it and it will begin to come to life in your work. So manifest ease. Why must your work be difficult? Okay, manifest. It can be voluminous, but why must it be difficult? Okay, don't drown. When there is just so much on your plate and you're drowning, please take a step back. You are doing this, you are doing that. Take a step back. Okay, I personally work in a highly pressured environment. So the more list I have, the longer my list keeps going. But I know when to step back. I know how to immediately get tasks and spread it across. So it doesn't sit with me. I spread it, so that it gets actioned immediately. Okay? Ask, before today runs out, what is the most valuable task that I need to complete that will massively improve how I feel about my productivity? For me, I have my non-negotiables. One major task supported by smaller tasks. And I have my non-negotiables in the other areas of my life. Like with my job, one major task supported by small ones that are like recurring, like meetings, like having meetings and those type of things. Then on my other areas of like my writing, I have my non-negotiables for my writing. All of those type of things. So you must know what you need to do to feel good. Okay? Take that one task that you have highlighted, smash it out, such that if you don't do anything else that day, you go to bed, you sleep well. Okay? So determine what makes you happy, what makes you feel good from a productivity perspective, and get on with it. If you do this daily, you're definitely going to stay ahead of the curve, so you need to do it. Okay? You may be spending too much time trying to make a decision. Okay? Have your own system that helps you identify and make decisions quickly, especially the low stake ones. There are some very low stake decisions. Give yourself time. If I don't make this decision in the next 15 minutes, I'm not making it. I'm moving on. I'm not doing it. I'm moving on. Or if I don't make it in the next 15 minutes, I'm just going to pick one and make that one right. Okay. And there's some decisions you'll be like, okay, I'm going to have a go, no go policy for myself. And this particular decision, by Friday this week, I need to get to a point where I've made my decision. Once you make it, your decision is either right or a learning point. Either ways is not so bad. So if it's the wrong one, you're going to learn from it, and you're going to learn not to do something like that in the future. So that's good, right? One more way of not doing something you've learned. Okay. So for every task, there are subtasks, there are mini tasks. Break things down. Get into the rhythm of breaking things down. Break tasks down into the smallest actionable pieces, and move the needle on all of them at the same time. Move the needle little by little. Move the needle across board, so that when they're asking you for A, you have moved the needle a bit. B, C, D, E, like that. Okay. So don't drown. Break things down and act on them at the lowest level of disaggregation. Okay? Jargons is pure rubbish. Jargon, pure rubbish. Don't let it waste your time. Okay? If someone is saying jargon to you, they know that they are trying to sound smart. They know for a fact that you don't understand what they're saying. Don't play their game. Ask them, call them out, ask them to break it down into digestible bits. Okay, don't let anybody waste your time with jargon. Ask them, what are you talking about? What are you on about? What are you talking about? Okay, so the tool, jargon is a tool. Okay, is a tool for exclusion and confusion. So when someone, maybe a younger team member or someone from another team, is trying to talk to you they are trying to exclude you or trying to confuse you. Either ways, tell them, say, look, say this in simple English. I want to be able to act on it. And for me to do that, I need to understand what you're talking about. Okay? So, because your time is worthwhile, the only reason why you should be fed information is for you to be informed enough to take action. Okay? But if you do not understand the information, then there is no point at all in having that conversation in the first place. So, jargon is a tool for exclusion and for confusion, and you don't want to play that game. So if anybody is using that against you, make sure that you're calling out the situation and you're asking for the communication to be correct in a format that you can understand. And same goes for you. Don't use jargon to confuse anybody, and don't exclude people from a conversation by using jargon. Okay, so basically, build simplicity into your work. It doesn't need to be complicated. It can be voluminous, but you can manage it. But it definitely does not need to be complicated. Thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on the post notification. See you in the next video. Bye.